Well, it's been a minute since I've done an optimal powders video, and this one has been highly requested, so let's get into it. Today, we're going to talk all about the 280 Ackley Improved and what powders you should be using for common bullet weights. All right, well, let's just get this out of the way. These 4 powders, and you could also include Retumbo in here, not ideal powders. In fact, really wrong, especially once you get up to H1000 Retumbo, N565 and N570. Way too slow burning. You're gonna have inconsistent ES. I think accuracy is gonna be really sporadic. No, just don't do it, okay? And this is gonna be another hot take here. H4831SC is also too slow. Your ESs aren't gonna be great. Your velocities are also gonna be underwhelming as well, because it's too slow burning for this improved AUT6 case. So I know it's tempting. H4831SC shoots basically everything well, but I'm going to show you powders that are ideal. First up, let's talk on the lighter end. So we're looking at 140 grain Barnes TTSX, or if you want to do the 145 grain LRX or any other assortment of 140 grain bullets. These are my 2 top choices for accuracy. They'll also get good velocity, and I'll show you that in a second in GRT. You can't go wrong with these 2. They'll give you 100% burn rate, and 160 will give you an incredible amount of case fill. They just work. So these would be my top 2 picks for 140, 145 grain. All right, let's take a look at Gordon's reloading tool. I put in 280 Ackley Improved. We're just going to SAMI spec. The barrel length, we're just going to go with 24-inch barrel. I think that's probably the most common barrel length. And then the bullet of choice, for now, we're going to go with a 145 grain LRX. And let me just show you what powder to get. If all you really want to get is to get the max velocity that you can get with powder that's available, Vitavori N550 is your answer. H4350 is right behind it, barely. But what you're looking at here at 65,000 PSI with a 24-inch barrel, you're just a little bit over 3,100, probably around 3,105 feet per second. Case fill, it's not bad. It definitely could be better. N160 definitely gets you better case fill, but you're going to be about 25 feet per second slower with N160. Case fill at basically 93%. That's pretty acceptable. Obviously, you're going to want more than 3 options. So I've written down all of really good options for 145, 140 grain class bullet and 280 Ackley Improved. Okay, a couple things to note. This is the top velocity you can get at 65,000 PSI. This does not mean your rifle is going to shoot the best at this velocity, obviously. This is case fill with the powder. Okay, N160. I really think it's one of the better powders all around for 280 Ackley Improved. You're getting pretty good velocity. This is all with 24-inch barrel, 3,080. N550, just a little bit more, as you saw, around 3,105 with 93% case fill. N555, you're going to get a little bit better case fill, a little bit slower velocity. IMR 4350. This is definitely a boomer powder. I still really like it, but it's never going to be one that's going to get you a great velocity, but decent case fill. H4350, as you saw, you're basically getting 3,100 feet per second with 90% case fill. And for you guys that have access to Alliant powders that have kept it, here you go. Reloader 17. That's your ticket with a lighter bullet, 280 Ackley Improved. 3,130 feet per second. Case fill is not great, 92%. I mean, it's good, but it's not great. If you have access to Reloader 19, I think it'd be a little better because you're almost getting the same velocity with better case fill. Okay, let's take a step up to what I think is the ideal bullet for the 280 Ackley Improved for its case capacity, 160 grain. So this 280 Ackley Improved is loaded with a 160 AccuBond. And again, you're going to be using a lot of the same powders. And 160 is still a really good option. H4350 is still a good option. And this might be a little controversial. This starts to work, but there's an asterisk. I'll show you in a sec. Back to Gordon's reloading tool. We're gonna have the same barrel length. Obviously, we are putting in the 160 grain AccuBond with Vihtavuori N160. And what we're seeing here is 2945 to 2950, I would think is about the max you can get. With really good case fill, you're looking at 97, 98% case fill. It's a very solid choice at 160. Next up, I just wanted to show you, for those lucky guys out there that have Reloader 19, this is an awesome choice for 280 AI in a 160 grain bullet. You're getting right at 3,000 feet per second with really good case fill, close to 98% case fill. If you got it, definitely use it. Okay, we're gonna look at one more with the 160 AccuBond. We're gonna look at N560. And this definitely has an asterisk next to it because one of the issues with N560 is gonna get you really good velocity with a 280 AI. However, you've got to stoke it up pretty hot to get 100% burnt propellant. And one of the big issues is you're not getting 100% burnt propellant until 64,000 PSI. You get a very, very tiny window that the accuracy might not be that great with 64,000 to 65,000 PSI. It could be, but it's just a very small window. At max velocity, you're looking around 3,020 feet per second, which is moving. So keep that in mind. Let me show you the good options you got. There's a lot with the 160 AccuBond and a 280 AI. H4350, you're gonna max it around 2950. Case fill is not as good as it could be, but you're probably gonna have really low ES using H4350. IMR 4350, velocity is down, better case fill, but topping around maybe 2,900. N160, 2940, really good case fill at 98%. N555, a little bit better velocity, almost as good case fill. N550, 2950, case fill not as good. And then there's your asterisks, your N560, great velocity, but a very small window for 100% burnt propellant, so I think it's going to be a little harder to find accuracy, but you never know. And then for those with the Alliant powders, Reloader 19, basically 3,000 feet per second, 97% case fill. Reloader 17 is a little fast burning, but still pretty good velocity, 2977, 87% case fill. And oh yeah, Reloader 22, it's not a bad option. I have a little bit left of it, very little. Max velocity 2977, 99% case fill. So let's say you get a custom made 280 Ackley Improved with a fast twist, 1 in 8 twist. So you want to shoot the heaviers, like a 175 or 180. I don't think it's ideal in a 280 Ackley Improved. I think if you're wanting to shoot some of the heaviest 7mm bullets, you should probably go with a 7 mag, a 7 PRC, 28 nozzler. But the performance is still respectable in a 280 Ackley Improved. These are some of the powders you should be looking for. N560 finally starts to make more sense. If you got it, Reloader 22 is a great option. N160 is still great, while being a little bit slower than these others. All right, so we've put in the 175 ELDX and GRT with Vihtavuori N560. And as you can see, maxed out velocity of almost 2,900 feet per second. Now, I still say this is a little bit of an asterisk with N560, just because you have to basically get 62,000 PSI to get 100% burnt propellant. It's better than with the 160 AccuBond, but still not completely ideal. Because a lot of times you're finding your accuracy, well, right around 60,000, maybe even a little below 60,000 PSI, you might get your best accuracy. But if you're looking for velocity with decent accuracy, N560 is your ticket. 2,900 feet per second with a 175 grain and a 24-inch barrel. Whew, pretty darn good. All right, here are some good options in 280 Ackley Improved with a 175 grain, or maybe like a 180 grain burger or ELDM. These powders will all work. At max velocity, Reloader 22 is going to get you 2850 with 102% case fill. Reloader 19, 2870. So Reloader 19 probably is a little bit better option if you're wanting velocity. And N160, you know, it's a little bit slower, but honestly, if I had to bet which ones is going to give you the tiniest groups, it's probably going to be N160. Really good case fill. N555, also a really good option. About the same velocity, a little bit less case fill. And then there you go. Here's your Speed Demon N560. You're basically getting 2,900 feet per second with a decent amount of case fill at 102%. And it is tempting as it may be to try out some Magnum powders in your 280 Ackley Improved. There's better options, guys. Yes, you could get really good accuracy with a 280 Ackley Improved and H4831 SC. But you're going to get better velocity using a faster burning powder. And please do not use N570, N565, or H1000 in a 280 Ackley Improved. It's just dumb.